my Christian people, my Muslim people, my Jewish people, the Hindus, the Buddhists, those of you for whatever you believe on, all that is here to ask you, at what point do your God ever show up when in need? At what point have you ever called your God and he showed up to rescue you from a situation? I'm sure the answer should be no, no point. Unless because you'll be religiously programmed not to apply sense, you're going to tell me he does answers. He never answers. What am I talking to again? We are all aware of the fatal plane crash, the Indian UK bound that crashes just a little after takeoff in India recently, having 252 passengers on board. We all saw how that fatal plane crash was. Just like always, plane crash are never easy. You understand? Now, my point here is, on that plane, before it crashed, everybody inside that plane believed in one God or the other, which I want to believe they all called upon. Did he actually showed up? He never showed up. 252 passengers on board and there was one survivor. That one survivor, I will say, was just lucky, fortunate to have survived, nothing more. But some morons are going to say, God saved him. Thanks to God. In Nigeria, they will be in the church giving testimony. If you are going to give a thanks to a God that scores 1 over 252, then you are an idiot. That God is a moron. Should I continue? Of course, I will continue. The Nigerian man will say, oh God, thank God for the life of the survivor. 1 out of 252, you will thank a God for scoring 1. See, religion, if religion does not make you crazy, if it doesn't make you mad, if it doesn't make you look stupid, then nothing else can make you. One survivor, miraculously. And you see that survivor, I don't know. You see this life that we live in. There is something I always say, no one knows anything about anything. Things are just normally, naturally. That guy was not saved by any God, neither was he saved by any charm. He was lucky, he was fortunate. If you know the distance by which that plane came from, and somebody survived it, that's enough to convince any Christian that there is God. But they will never remember to ask, what about the 251 others? We are not even adding those that were also died inside their house because the plane crashed on the building. There were people in that building that has not even been recorded yet. So which means it's more than 252 that went down there. Then you're going to thank a God for the life of 1 that was saved. Then one thing I know about that one that was saved, just looking at the video I'm displaying now, I have been displaying the video. You saw how the plane eventually crashed. You saw the fire, and you see the guy that survived that fire. You see the way he's walking. From that fire, that others were roasted. Somebody survived him. The guy that was sitting on flight seat 11, close to the wings. That's the guy. You see, he's walking like he's only have bruises on his face, just as you can see me displaying it. The Christian will say was lucky, it was God, it was not God. The guy was just lucky and fortunate. And you see this same guy now that have survived this plane crash. To see how funny life can be, you might hear that next month that this guy passed after brief illness or attacked by armed robbers or any other little thing that's not up to something. Because this guy is not going to live forever. He's definitely not going to live forever. Something less than this will eventually take his life. That is life. On the day of that plane crash, I will tell you, maybe it was not just his time. I don't know if it was the time of every other person on that plane, because I know there were kids, there were elderly people, men and women, which all cried to God, a deaf God that is incompetent. So my message here is simple. You Christian brother and sister, you religious person, put it in mind that there is no God anywhere saving mankind. What led to that plane crash is not the handiwork of devil. No devil caused it. That's why no God could save it. It is a natural accident. Those in charge of that aircraft in no distant time are going to come out to the problem and causes of that crash, and we solve it in subsequent airplanes. That is the work of science. That is how man have been building this world, perfecting it. There will come a time you will hardly hear a plane crash, because every plane that crashes, those in charge make sure they know what the causes was and they avoid it in subsequent flight. So please, religious people, dust that dust off your head that there is a God in the sky. There isn't. The only God that lives is men among men. That is the government of the day. They are in charge. They make the rule that you and I obey. They decide our fate through the court, through the police. When the judge sentences you, say you are going down. You are going down. No Jesus. Nothing can save you. So your life is in the hand of a fellow man. It is earlier you realize this, the better for you. So this plane crash, may the souls of all the faithful departed rest in peace. I hope they find rest, because I doubt if there is a soul. I don't even believe in that word soul. But that's what everybody will say. I hope they rest, because they are now out of the problems of this world. It's that simple. There was no God responsible for it. And as for those that believe that sinners will go to hellfire, let us assume those 251 people were sinners. You saw the flame that took their life. Would they go to another hellfire? Crazy people, when you carry religion for head, more than answer me. I bet people will get sense. Now, well done. Let me share this video. Until I come again, see you in my next video. One love.